Yes.
All right.
You're important.
They're all equally as important, I promise you. This one's definitely going to take a village.
Yeah, exactly. We're ready. Good afternoon. Can you hear it? Okay. So we won't talk into that. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Mark Spadoni. I'm Managing Director of the Omni Homestead, and so delighted to have you here with us today on this monumental, very, very big day for Omni Hotels and Resorts, our associates, Bath County, state of Virginia, and the hospitality community at large throughout the country. To be able to be taking part in what we think will be one of the great restorations of iconic jewel for the hospitality industry, and for that reason, the history of our great country at large is really, really exciting. And as I mentioned, my name is Mark Spadoni. I grew up on the West Coast. First heard about this property in the 70s. My dad was here for a convention, a medical convention, and told me about this beautiful jewel that was over on the East Coast. About 10 or 12 years ago, I had the opportunity to experience it firsthand. And then I began, to me, it was a dream to figure out how I could have an actual role in this particular property, and call it fortuitous or call it just really good timing, but be able to come in here and start or get the next stage of my assignment here to be able to roll out this announcements for this renovation that we have coming up. This is all about restoring a piece of American history. As many of you know, this property has been here for over 250 years. In many ways, it was the start of hospitality. It was the start of the whole taking to the waters, which continues to this day to have relevance and importance in our ongoing quest for wellness, feeling better. And if it wasn't for these springs up the road, arguably this property wouldn't be here. But we're so glad that they are here and they continue to be here. I did want to take this time to welcome a couple of special guests that we have here. We have a number of elected officials and representative elected officials. First of all, I'd like to introduce Lee Fry and Eddie Hicklin, both from Bath County supervisors. Thank you very much for joining us. I didn't see Ashton. Is Ashton here? Oh, in the back. Busy, last one here. He's the Bath County administrator. We have Senator Cree Deeds, who's here, a great representative and vocal spokesperson for the property. We have Becca Marsh from Senator Tim Kaine's office. We have Isaac Sarver from Senator Mark Warner's office. And then we have Julie Langen, who is the director of the State Historic Preservation Office. So thank you so much for joining us today, which obviously means a lot to us, that you take seriously this restoration, this renovation that we have. Over to my right, I've got Greg Bright. He was our director of engineering. He's moving into the full-time role to be our project manager for the renovation. And next to Greg is Lita Hardy, and Lita is the vice president of Complete Property Services. And she's going to tell a little bit about their role that they have in the renovation. So restoring a piece of American history. Omni Hotels and Resorts is pleased to announce it is making a $120 million investment to return this property to its original grandeur. From needed infrastructure improvements to new construction, one of the biggest undertakings in Bath County since the construction of this property in 1902. This level of commitment, especially given what our company and our industry has been challenged with over this past year and a half, is remarkable. The project demonstrates Omni's commitment to our guests, our associates, and our community, and the future. The project reflects Omni's mission to provide the highest quality experience while preserving the heart and soul of historic properties and honoring the local flavor of the area. Preserving history. So this property has an incredible amount of history. And I just touch on a couple of things that I think will put things in perspective of how important this property, both to Bath County, but to our country at large. As America's first resort, the homestead holds many special place in the hearts and minds of many. I've been here now for about 6 months and had the first opportunity to really get an appreciation of this property, just how many people come back year after year after year and create new family memories, relive past family memories, and do it on a multi-generational basis. I talk with people who, when they were here, when they were a young boy, first time they ever tied a tie was when they went to the main dining room. A lot of people in Virginia, first time they ever learned to ski was on the slopes that was here. A lot of people who still can't dance, that at least was the first time that they ever tried to dance, was in the main dining room taking our dancing lessons here. But that's the kind of memories that obviously this property has held for many people. And we hope those memories, and we believe they will, continue to move forward. It has many benchmarks. The oldest continuous first tee in operation in golf, going back to 1892. Is the old course, the first tee that's there, right next to the casino. It's the oldest spa. I guess that goes to say that if you go back to the 1700s and that was the beginning of people taking to the water, that would make sense that it's the oldest spa. And it's one of the first indoor swimming pools as well, too. The shooting club goes back to the late 1920s. Cascades Golf Course, which has hosted 8 USGA championships, the Curtis Cup, as well as NCAA championship. Will be celebrating its 100th anniversary in 2023. And the Warm Springs Pools, formerly known as the Jefferson Pools, that before were known as the Warm Spring Pools, are actually under renovation right now, and our partner Lionberger is obviously custodian of that project, and we're very excited about what that's going to mean to the resort at large, too. We've hosted 23 presidents and countless dignitaries. And as it relates to the local economy, the homestead is the largest employer in the county and the largest tax revenue generator in the county as well. But most importantly, we believe that we embrace the family values and make this a great place to work for our associates. And over the years, I can only imagine there's literally been thousands upon thousands of people in the Bath County area who has made this their place of employment. We have right now, plus or minus, about 400 associates that is working here. At various times, we've had over 1,000 people that have worked here, and we're hopeful and confident that when we get through this restoration and we're back up and running again, that we'll be closer to that 1,000 number again and be able to provide gainful employment for those people here in the area. I want to talk a little bit about the renovation and kind of give you a sense of what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it. It's a unique renovation, but once you kind of get an idea of why we're approaching it the way that we are, I think you'll have an understanding of how important that we feel this property is in making sure that we do it right. This is what we refer to as an outside-in renovation. It's one of the things that unfortunately hasn't happened to this property in the past. While there's been money put into the property over the past 100+ years, a lot of it has been on the inside. So the outside has been neglected and hasn't had the opportunity, to receive the tender loving care that it deserves. And we believe that obviously if we get the outside done first, that first impression that people have when they come down the hill or where they come over the dell from Warm Springs and see the property, they see this bright, shining building, that obviously is water sealed and all the other things that are important to start spending money on the inside to make sure what we spend on the inside actually lasts. But I wanted to, right now, introduce to you the young lady who is going to take the lead with her company on our outside renovations, and that's Lita Hardy. I'll tell you a little bit about Lita. She's the Vice President of Complete Property Services, and that's based in Tampa, Florida. She has over 22 years of experience working with large property portfolio clients in the hospitality, healthcare, and assisted living marketplaces. They specialize in ROI strategies and solutions for interior and exterior maintenance renovation, and ensuring that projects are successfully financially and meet on-time requirements, which are obviously important. And she's also a emeritus member of Hotel Point Advisory Board. If you will help me and join me in introducing and welcoming Lita.
All right, well, I know I have to drop this quite a bit. So first of all, I want to say thank you very much for the invitation. I want to say thanks to Mark. I have to tell a little Mark story here before I get much further. I was on property the week that Mark started, and so I have to congratulate you. In 6 months, the amount of history and understanding of the importance of this project and a passion for what we're trying to accomplish here is just, you've come a really long way. So. So again, my name's Lita Hardy. I'm Vice President of Complete Property Services. Our corporate headquarters is in Tampa, Florida. We have offices in Miami, Jacksonville, Los Angeles, as well as the Dominican Republic. We are a licensed Class A general contractor. But what makes us really unique and something that you wouldn't see, most of the contractors you meet work on new construction. We work solely on occupied structures. I want a building that people reside in or we have guests and residents in. So we take that, which is not necessarily watertight or maybe not structurally sound, and we bring that back and restore it to its original state. So we have a passionate group of 200 plus trained technicians that work for our company. We will be bringing on some local trades to assist us in the exterior waterproofing and restoration of the property, but most of the people who work for CPS have been with us for 15 plus years. So it's an exciting opportunity for them. And of that, I will share with you, this is a very exciting project in our company. We are very passionate about this project. First of all, I would say most of we've been in the hospitality industry for 35 plus years. We've renovated thousands of hotels. And we've worked for some really wonderful owners. We've worked for owners who, as Mark mentioned, either didn't have the capital or didn't have the desire to restore a property. So we've worked on a lot of historic properties where we did it in phases or we did a partial. And it's not every day that you meet a client like Omni and the team here and everyone involved in this project who said, no, we're doing a $120 million renovation. We want it all. And so it's been an exciting, Greg's been a part of this. It's been a very exciting collaborative event for us for probably going on over a year now. I mean, we started on this project prior to COVID, talking about it, building a team of consultants, architects, engineers, as well as the team from CPS, myself, and a couple other executives coming out here, walking the property, and really helping to figure out what is it that she needs and how do we put her back in a watertight, safe condition, but not lose the historic look of it. So VDHR has been very clear on what they expect the building to look like when we're done, how we'll do that restoration. But I have to tell you, it is like preserving a piece of history. The bridge between the spa and the bridge are in some pretty bad disrepair. But when we get to those spaces and we start to tear them apart, it's hard to not be excited because I'm looking at craftsmanship that's almost, 150 plus years old that someone touched, you know, and it's all hand done and hand plastered. And so our crews are equally as excited about leaving their mark as those previous craftsmen did here. In general, the work we're going to be doing, we will touch every element of the exterior of the building. We'll be doing tuck pointing, so brick masonry, working on the terracotta, restoring the limestone, you know, taking back and protecting some of the structural elements of that brick facade. You have a 3-wide wall, so you've got brick, brick, and brick, right? And some of that has started to shift over the years. Along the way, PTAC units, air conditioning units have been put on the building, and you can kind of see those. When the restoration is done, all those grills will be the same brick red. So as you look out from the casino lawn, you won't see any of those air conditioning units. All the white will be restored and repainted. We'll have a crane that's going to restore the clock tower, so it will be bright and everything will be exciting when our teams are completed here. Now, that being said, yes, it's going to be a little while. So for those of you members, I'm asking you to be patient with us. The project is 16 months, barring weather. So I know to ski, you might all want lots of snow. My team is praying for no snow this season, but we can work through the winter. There's lots of things at the groundwork and others that we can be doing throughout the winter season. So we'll have about 20 to 30 people who will ebb and flow on property, living in the housing, here working every day. So we're finalizing the schedule, sort of where we start and where we finish. The goal is not to be, you know, in the prime season, sort of in front of where everyone wants to be, but we are going to you are going to know that we are here. We will start, let's say, in the next couple weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, you'll start to see our crews arrive, and we work really hard to not be seen. But when you see us, we'll be in a blue T-shirt, and we'll be working from scaffolding and cranes, as well as high lifts. And we will not be working all over the property. We'll be in sections and work our way around the building. So it's just an exciting time. I will tell you from a personal standpoint, there's not a lot of women doing what I do for as long as I've done it. It is very exciting. I've seen and worked on some of the country's really coolest projects and neatest buildings. But I have a 15-year-old son, and when I went home, I couldn't be more excited to tell him that we had been selected to be the contractor for this property and that his mom was touching something and making history. And so for that, I am just so thankful for the opportunity, and we look forward I will be here, our team will be here, and don't hesitate to say hi, and we're very excited to be a part of this really momentous project. Thank you.
So now that we got those not very exciting things out of the way, but very important, I wanted to share a little bit more about what the actual scope of the renovation and restoration project is going to include. So first and foremost, almost every area inside the property is being touched as well too. So all 483 guest rooms will go through a comprehensive renovation. When we were talking with the designers and talking about keywords to describe what the property will be like post-renovation, you know, you kind of go into this and you hope that this is the homestead. You know, we got to make sure that we retain what the homestead has made, or what has made the homestead special in the past, and I can assure you that that first and foremost is the plan. A couple key words to describe the direction we're going: sophisticated, traditional, residential, family-oriented from that particular standpoint, and iconic. You know, words that are out there that speak to what the homestead is and what someone would expect when they come here. Most of the furniture throughout the property, the public area furniture, plus the furniture in the guest rooms will stay, but it'll all be refinished. And then there's some new additional pieces that will be going in there that are kind of the modern aspect. There'll be a console that'll be going into every room, obviously upgraded Wi-Fi technology, as well as refrigerator that'll be going into each one of the rooms, and then a big TV for whoever wants to watch TV when they come to the homestead. As far as the public areas are concerned, those words, another key word is lightness out there. So I'm trying to brighten up their property a little bit. I think if you've been in the Great Hall, you've kind of seen a little bit of that transformation going from kind of a creamy yellow to a white alone, and the difference that has made. A lot of the carpeting, and it's all Axminster, 80/20 wool carpet that's going in there. It's going to be spectacular. It's all custom to the project here. It's going to be beautiful. The restaurants, existing restaurants, all get a facelift as well too, and that includes the main dining room, which will be renamed, and we'll share that on the next press conference. But Jefferson and the tap room will also be updated. A couple of the new things that will be happening, reconceptualizing the casino, which is right now where Woody's, our restaurant, celebrating Woody Petrus, who is here, will continue, but the existing pro shop will be converted into a new family restaurant that's there, which will be a neat addition, particularly during the summertime is when a lot of kids come with the family. The lobby bar that is kind of tucked into the corner there, we're actually going to be building a speakeasy behind that, which will be fun. It'll be kind of a little bar area that'll be kind of tucked behind that. That'll set ourselves up for being able to have entertainment there, and also an area off the lobby. As far as a couple of the other areas, we're working on the theater. We're going to reconceptualize the theater. Instead of making it just a 300-seat theater, we're going to actually add kind of a dinner theater concept there, and by that it'll be kind of tiered down. It'll hold about 70 to 90 people. It'll be great for symposiums, special events, and feature film watching. We were talking about an example. So if you were going to watch the new James Bond movie, we'd theme it, Martini Night. So it'll also have a bar in there as well. So we can do a little bit of food and beverage as well as doing that, and hopefully also reintroduce in there some live performances as well too. Let's see what else in the property per se. Martha's, our grab and go, which is right next to the Jefferson Library. That's all being redone, reorienting. It'll be about twice as big. Jefferson Library will be partially repurposed. A lot of the history will stay in there, but that's going to be repainted, and realize it's such a great venue in the morning. So to be able to go in there and actually sit in there and feel like it's a natural extension of Martha's there will, I think, be a great addition as well too. And then a couple of our complete new builds, which we're really excited about. The first one will be our new event pavilion, and that one you can see right here. And that'll be actually up on the golf course with an incredible panoramic view looking down at the resort. It'll be 4,000 square feet, be able to accommodate 225 people. The lawn area outside is almost 40 yards long, so it'll be a great opportunity to do outdoor events as well there too. But we think that this will be one of the premier wedding destinations for people literally in the country. I think it's going to be that special from a view standpoint. And then last but not least, you can see over there is our new associate housing. As you can imagine, if you're going to employ upwards to 1,000 people, and I'd like to think that that a lot of them are coming from the local area, which they will, but we'll also need a lot of work visa people, which we have in the past, as well as seasonal staff that's there. So this new housing unit will be 50 rooms with 2 beds in each of the rooms that is there, so be able to accommodate up to 100 seasonal or visa staff members that is there to complement our other Creekside unit that is there. But the neat thing about this is we're also setting it up with a kitchen in there, a living room area, and also the ability for them to have recreational activities out in the back. There will be a half-court, basketball thing that's there. And I'd be remiss, and also, since I've talked with a number of members here, yes, there will be pickleball as part of the renovation, the update that is there at one time. And I think that, Pat, what do you have, 22 tennis courts at one time? 19. Well, we're not going to have 19 pickleball, but we're going to have at least 5. And that's going to actually be located up by the ski lodge where the ice skating rink was there. So we're going to convert that area up there and have a nice venue for guests and members to be able to participate in that. And then last but not least, as far as scope, is we're going to be expanding the pool complex. So where the little kid area is on the left-hand side as you're going in there, that'll be a new large adult pool that'll be going over there, literally all the way over to where the putting green is right now. We're relocating the putting green that's there. There'll be 6 or 7 additional cabanas that will be added there to complement what we need from a capacity standpoint when we're back up to 483 rooms. That ends the official part of our presentation here, but I'd love to entertain any questions that you may have, with the hopes being that I can answer them. If not, I can turn to Greg or I can turn to Lita. But is there any questions? Yes?
Opening the Zipline again?
Pardon me?
The Zipline.
Yes. Zipline will be reopened. That has been primarily a staffing-related issue this year, but our plans will be the Zipline will be an attraction moving forward as well. Yes?
Will anything be done at the ski lodge? Will that be any type of...
As with the other areas around the property, there will be cosmetic or interior work that will be done relative towards that. No major structural work, but definitely updated, from a look and feel standpoint up there. Yeah.
The event building, exactly where is that going to be located?
So where the members' practice ranges, it'll be actually right there. From the very top putting green down to the lower tee, it'll be located there with, like I said, roughly about 30 to 50 yards worth of lawn in front of that. We're in the process right now of expanding the lower tee and then building potentially an area off the side where the old 18th green was. Yes? At this time, we have no specific plans for the Virginia building. Yes?
What about the men and women's locker room at the old course?
Right. So that actually is a good point. So the restaurant, the pro shop where it exists right now, that's moving downstairs where we'll be expanding out because similar to how it was, generations ago from that particular standpoint. And those restrooms and locker rooms down below will be updated and renovated. Be small, but they will be updated and renovated down there.
And what about
Rubino's, like the other restaurants, will be getting new carpeting, new furniture, and all that.
But you never consider to restore the Virginia building?
At this point, with the money that we're putting into this phase, there's
He has lost a lot of history.
there's a lot of history that is there. Yeah. Yes.
The building's on Cottage Road.
Yes.
What's going to happen with that?
We're going through the process of reevaluating what we want to do down there. At this particular point, that's not specifically part of the renovation as well, too. We recognize the importance and the historical link that it has to the downtown area, but we have a couple of concepts that we're working through right now that hopefully we'll be able to share more information in the not-too-distant future. Yes? I can't hear very, I'm sorry. Yes. So we have what is it? It's about a couple $100,000 new equipment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So right now we're going through the process and replacing 9 of the air handling units that are in the whole spa complex that's there. I think most of them are complete at this particular point. And then we have a $200,000 plus new equipment package that will be coming in to replace basically most of the equipment in there other than the Peloton bikes and some of the other items is there, but that is a part of the scope as well too. Anything else? Yes?
The tennis courts, will they stay where they are?
Yeah. The existing tennis courts will stay where they're at. I mean, we'll be reintroducing wind screens and a couple of the things, that are not on there right now, but those tennis courts will stay as they are. Yes?
This is actually a question for me.
Sure.
I know you said that most of your employees will be coming from your company and you would like to employ some local as far as that's concerned. What about your materials that you're using? How far out is the scope going to go for that? Have you tried it to do within the state of Virginia, or is it going to come from?
Without a doubt. Great question. So most of our materials will be coming locally. And a lot of that is things that we will be able to get from Home Depot or whatnot. There's a lot of craftsmanship that goes into some of the elements on this building. And those trades, we are trying to source in Virginia, right? So we're always looking for carpenters. This project requires a lot of carpentry. And so we've really had our feelers out there trying to find as many local carpenters who are interested in the project, and we are always welcome to hear from them. But we do have a few other trades locally that will be a part of the project.
Anything else? I'm going to close with two things. I'll ask the question, I'll answer the question. So the first question is when is it going to be completed? Obviously the plan is that Lita and her team will start, over the next 30 to 45 days with limited exception, punch work, those type of things. Right now, we're scheduled to have everything done going into the summer season of 2023. So roughly a year and a half. So when we talk about Lita's scope, we will be going simultaneously with hers. We'd like to accelerate it even a little bit more so, but as you can imagine right now, with the challenges that are out there in the supply chain, a lot of the carpeting and a lot of the products, that we have coming in is incredible lead times, that is out there. But our goal is to open up the summer season of 2023 with 483 rooms, 9 restaurants and large lounges, a brand new event pavilion on top of the hill, an expanded pool, housing to handle all of that. And the last question I'll ask myself and answer, and that is are we going to stay open the whole time? And is employment, going to be able to be maintained? And I know that was obviously a tough thing through COVID. The answer is yes. This summer we operated with roughly about a 230 to 250 room hotel. The West Wing has been closed, for about a year. A lot of this wing here, where most of the work needs to be done on the balconies, was closed for the most part too. We will run basically the same level of inventory from a guest room standpoint from now until that period of time. The first 2 wings that are being worked on, not surprising, will be the West Wing and then, this wing over here. When they're done, those come back in. That's roughly about 250 rooms, 183 rooms here, I think, and 700. Yeah. So our staffing level is basically at its minimum level right now. So we'll continue this with the hopes being that we're able to find some more people. If any of you want to come work with us, we'd love to have you work with us. But the plan will be that we'll go through next summer much similar that we did this year with hopefully more people. And then we'll start seeing new product at the end of 2022 and then moving into 2023.
If I can, Mark, kind of jumping off what
Yeah.
you just said, there's a lot of coordination. So there are 978 wood windows. I'll stand up. There's 978 wood windows on the property that all have to be historically repaired and painted, and then they'll all be receiving a storm window, if you will, that really kind of just disappears over that glass. So when you're standing out on the casino lawn, you won't even notice that it's there. And from the interior of the guest room, you won't notice that it's there. But that challenge of having to work both in the interior and the exterior while doing that renovation is a very complex process and does take a lot of coordination, not only with our teams and Mark's teams, but the reservation teams as well as the operations. So it's going to be a challenging project.
So I'll ask you a question.
Sure.
How many different sizes of those windows of those 900 plus?
Ironically, there's
A lot.
A lot. There's a crew here just about in the next week measuring all of the windows. So it is an arduous task, but that's easy compared to restoring them. So.
That's true. Yes, sir.
I asked this question once before, not today, but the porches facing the north, I guess the east wing.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Those are,
Yeah.
All of that, the presidential suites, all of that work, both the interior of that work as well as the exterior of that work will be done. And we're just working on.
By her.
Yes. But we're trying to prioritize that as well as all the tower terraces, the big
Governor's suites.
Governor suites,
Yeah.
event terraces, all of that work will be done as well. And then the west wing porches.
Yep.
So.
that terrace gives you the impression if you have a pool that's going to slide down the hill at any minute.
Yes, sir. But, in truth, all of the structural analysis has been done of the property. And buildings of this type, it's not like today's construction. So, in truth, what we're doing in those suites is we're kind of separating the exterior from the interior. And so when you're in the room, all of the interior structure will be level and safe. And we have to basically make it independent from that exterior, that we can't come in and jack up, right? We can't move. It's going to stay right where it is, and it's structurally sound.
Does that mean it will be level? Or
From the outside, it won't change, but from the inside, it will be level.
Lets the rain run off.
Right, it helps the rain off.
I want to thank you all so much for joining us today, and looking forward to being able to share progress as we move forward. And obviously, if you have any last-minute questions, I'll be around, as well as Lita and Greg, happy to answer. Yes?
Where's the employees project? Where will this be located?
It's in between where the existing one is, so it's down on the main street that's down there. It's just a little bit closer than that one. Thank you very much. Well, we'll see. I think we'll end up happening is, call it phase 2. A lot of the phase 2 will be some of the stuff that happens, like the kitchen areas and those types of